we will take a closer look at the course schedule. In this course, you will be developing an understanding of the fundamentals of user interface and user experience design for responsive web and native applications. Let's take a closer look at the schedule so you know what to expect and when to expect it. In this course, you will complete 4 major projects. First, a local website redesign. Next, an apartment finder website. And finally, we will design a custom app. We will break this final project into 2 parts. In the first part, we will learn more about user research by building personas and conducting user interviews. Then in the final project, we will bring everything that we have learned together to design a full experience. As you work to build your projects, you will complete a series of milestone deliverables. These milestones will include deliverables like mood boards or wireframe concepts that you will share with your project groups, then receive feedback that you will apply to revise and create a final version of each deliverable. A new week in this course will begin each Monday. Your initial post will be due on Tuesday, your peer feedback will then be due on Thursday, with your final revised milestone due at the end of the week on Sunday. Note that some milestones do not have final submissions. You will instead revise these deliverables as part of your final project package. Next, let's take a closer look at each project. In this first week of the course, we will be introduced to the practice of interactive design, as well as common UI and UX deliverables. Make sure to use this time to explore the course and set up your design tools. In the first project, you will complete a local website redesign. Local business websites are often in need of some design help. You will learn more about deliverables like mood boards and wireframes, and how to build an interface in Adobe XD. Let's take a quick look at a local redesign project. On the left, we can see the original concept. There's no real unique branding, it has an outdated layout. And then on the right, we see the updated design. A simple layout with modern UI elements, like the menu in the header and the slider in the center. You may want to take on a local business you visit often, or one with services that you use. This can often make the project more fun and engaging when you get to visit a business in the real world. Now let's take a look at how the milestones for this project will break down. In week 2, you will begin the project by choosing a business, gathering inspiration, and creating a mood board. Then in week 3, you will build wireframes as we learn about prototyping. Finally, in week 4, you will prototype your redesign and build your final package. In the next project, you will take on a slightly more complex project, an apartment finder website. You will learn more about user flow and interaction as we explore a specific user experience, finding an apartment. We will also be introduced to information architecture and design systems. This is a slightly bigger project, spanning 5 weeks. First, in week 5, you will once again create a mood board and be introduced to IA mapping. Next, in week 6, you will develop an IA map for your apartment website. Then in week 7, you will once again create a wireframe for your design. As we move into week 8, you will establish a UI foundation using a style guide. And finally, in week 9, you will build your site and create a prototype. In the last 2 projects, we will be designing a custom application. In project 3, we will begin the research phase of this task. It will be introduced to user research techniques, specifically building user personas and conducting user interviews. User personas are created to represent user groups for a product. They are often built from quantitative data, like surveys or sales figures, can help illustrate key user demographics like age, education, and so on. There are several benefits to personas, like helping to communicate design decisions to project stakeholders, creating memorable images of their users like Kayla and Mario here. These are often very popular and impactful deliverables in a UX project. In Project 3, we will have several different milestones that may be unfamiliar to you, notably conducting user interviews, which should be very simple and fun for the purposes of this project. In Week 10, you will define your product and build your personas. Next, in Week 11, you will draft and build your test plan. In this week, you will begin recruiting users for your interviews. Obviously, for this assignment, it's okay if your recruitment includes friends, family, or coworkers. Finally, in Week 12, you will gather your feedback by conducting your user interviews and presenting your findings. Finally, in our last project, we will bring everything that we have learned together to design a complete app. In the last project, you identified a user group, interviewed them, gathered some initial feedback on their experiences, and now we will utilize that information to design our app. At the end, you will bring all of your research and work together in one 5 to 7 minute presentation of your work. In this project, we'll be exploring several different app categories. Maybe you're interested in designing a pet adoption app or a grocery service app. We will move quickly for the final project, but you will now be skilled in the UI and UX design process. In Week 13, you will develop wireframes for your app concept. In Week 13, you will structure your app with IA mapping. Next, in Week 14, you will develop wireframes for your app concept. And finally, in Week 15, you will finalize your app prototype and begin preparing your final presentation. At the end of this course, you will have 4 solid portfolio pieces that demonstrate your understanding of both user-centered interactive design as well as common UI and UX deliverables.